Hi, my name's Lee Stanley. I've built the Poorly Brick Hospital that we see here. It was started off as from the Lego Friends Hospital, and it grew from there. So started to build it from the bottom up. Started off sort of originally as a tall tower, but then I took it apart to start doing the inside and put it side by side. And then when I did that, it looked so much better. And I thought, oh, here we go. So this is going to be this width, two base plates wide. And then I got the helicopter and thought, actually, we need to be wider now, because it started off as half a base plate depth, so I could access it from the behind, like you can with the police station and the fire station, those sort of sets. And then built the helipad to go on the top. And once I built that, I thought, right, this needs to be a lot bigger. So went deeper. And once I'd done that, then it was getting into the inside then and doing all the different rooms. So yeah.
Dive into there in a second. Let's take a look real quick at kind of what we have on the outside.
So yeah, so on the outside, I like to do these displays with a bit of a road and a bit of a, not to give it a nice setting. Went for the car park at the side there, which we've got a graffiti artist increasing the value. We've got Banksy doing a bit of work there. So and then just a nice busy city, along with a little Lego shop at the back and a big belly burger fast food chain. Always handy next to a hospital.
You got like a little, is this like custom printed window?
Yeah, so a few of the custom prints, there's quite a few companies out there doing those now, so I've picked them up over the years from different shows that I've been to. It's where the big belly burger windows came from, and the bus shelter, and then worked in. I like to work in a few of our bricks that we get for the doing the displays as well. So got my Brickish member one there with my name on, and then the other shows I've been to, I've worked into sort of above the bus shelter, and also as banners along the flower beds, which is quite nice because you see some people doing big stacks of them. But I thought I'm going to include mine, and I've already worked in the show for today as well. So in the sign there. So yeah. Quite enjoyed doing that.
That's lots of fun details there. So yeah, we can dive into the hospital then, maybe go floor by floor, and we'll see what all you've included.
Yeah. So on the top floor here, I've got my maternity ward. So if I just take that off of there, you can see in the first room there, someone's having their baby scan. So good use of the little microphone there to go on the belly of the Lego figure, and another custom print tile to show the sonogram on there. And then as you go to the back here, I'm going to go around just behind here. You've got the actual delivery room. So in there you can actually see one of the Lego minifigures having their newborn baby. And we've had a superhero birth at the back here where we've got baby Jack from The Incredibles. So got to get all these baby figures that you have. There's not many of them around, so you've got to use everything you can get hold of. And the green capes used for the wards, there's more of them as you go down onto the ward floor. But that was something that people really enjoyed when I put pictures of that onto things like Facebook and Instagram. Had a lot of response thinking these great use of the capes, which the idea actually came from an earlier Lego set, the Grand Emporium, because they used them for changing rooms. I think they used black ones, if I remember rightly, for doing the changing rooms on the ground floor there. So that's sort of where that idea came from, locked back from a memory from building that set.
The cape really is a versatile piece. I mean, we've seen it used in all sorts of creative ways and builds.
Yeah, no, I think it's a useful one. It's just hard to get hold of a lot of them because you end up with a lot of minifigures, which is. I had lots and lots of Clock Kings, so my niece and nephews have got lots of Clock King figures now, so that was good to give to them on there. Also on the top floor, underneath this one, you've got your air ambulance control centre. So lots of computers in there, people working and maps and that to guide the air ambulance as to where it needs to go. And then
lots of fun Lego control panels there. They've created so many cool pieces over the years.
Yeah, and the maps as well, just finding lots of different maps to sort of put on there as well. And then sourcing the headphones, so sort of figures that hair pieces that had the headphone attached to them to make it look like they're in there listening to calls and helping them out and everything on that one. And then as we go underneath that one, then we've got a nice little chapel. So people in there wishing well for their loved ones and things, and got some nice stained glass windows on the outside of that, which again, printed tiles I managed to pick up at a show on there. So yeah.
That's such a nice detail to the build when you get some of those custom windows like that.
Yeah, I think it does. I think it finishes off, and a lot of the comments I've had today have been is the detail is what they're loving the most, and it's probably what I enjoyed putting in there, because when you do a display like this, you can see a big hospital on the outside, but so much work's gone on the inside that it is nice to sort of show it off to people and just show the different ideas you can do on there. So right, and if I take that one off of there, then this is one of my favourite rooms. You've got the hospital DJ, so he's doing his radio station in there. Again, a lot of custom print tiles in there, as well as some good tiles from the the collectible minifigures. A lot of the Lego Movie ones where they brought out the new singing Lucy and her band for Everything Is Awesome. So they had a lot of the CD bits from there, which was really good when I was sort of doing that room on that one on there. So if I start to take off these ones here.
Keep moving down here. How many floors in total is there?
It's 7 stories in total. So say maternity ward on the top floor there on that one. This one here, you've got the MRI machine, which does actually slide across the patient there, so they can have their scan. And then in the room next to it, I've used some of the pieces from the new Lego City Hospital, where they did the projector, so you can light it up to sort of show it on the wall there. So that was another room that I thought they need a room where they can review things and file rooms and things like that on there.
Technology in the Lego hospitals has really advanced over the years as they've released more and more of them.
Yes, definitely. And I think some of the builds they've done, because one of the early ambulances I had, which I was built to start off with, very, very sort of square, and then they brought out the new one, and I thought, this is fantastic. The new ambulance was a much better fit. Unfortunately, it didn't fit underneath the walkway I'd made, the driveway I'd made for the ambulance, so I had to just raise that by a couple of plates, which was not too difficult to do because of the modular build. So that was good for that one. And then just in front of these ones, we've got the some patient rooms and an office. So you've got there's been a lot of comments from children seeing the skeleton in there. As it's obviously not seen in doctor surgeries as much as they used to be, but years ago they used to have a skeleton in the corner of the room so they could show people what they'd done and that. But judging by the reaction from people today seeing a skeleton in a hospital, they thought, what's that all about? So that was a bit different. Got a nice office there for the people to look at their patient records and things on those. And then I've got go to the next floor. So it's where the operating theatres are down in this one. So you've got 2 operating theatres there, very similar to each other. Just wondering where that bit's gone from there. But a lot of people again have commented on here. They like the bit that I've got the area where they can wash their hands and get their scrubs before going in to do the operations.
Sanitation is very important.
Definitely, yeah. So we've got two of them there, and they're different machineries and things in there. And of course, had to find some surgeons to go in there as well. So it was a bit of a search online to get some of the older minifigures that I didn't have on that one. And again, at the front, I believe it's 2 more interview sort of rooms we've got there. Visiting more patients. Some of those actually people might recognise. There's a lot of bits in there still from the Lego Friends Hospital. So you can see some of the one of the pink purpley bricks still in there from the Lego Friends sets that they did on that one.
I think things like Friends, the collectible minifigures line, some of those have so many great minifigs, details, and everything that really help with a build like this.
Definitely, and it seemed to be when I started building this, it seemed that Lego Friends were the only ones getting the hospital and the schools, and then it's like what everybody else wanted to see in the city range or in the expert range. So then halfway through doing this, I say the City Hospital came out, so that helped me out with getting doctors and things to go in there. On those, so really enjoyed doing those rooms on that one. And then the next floor we're going to get to is one of my favourite ones, which is the actual wards. So we got if I take those off of there. So there you've got your hospital wards. The nurses' station where they can come and see who's staying in what rooms, what patients to go and visit. You've also got your toilets behind there, and a very fully kitted out janitor's cupboard next to the toilets with his mops and his buckets so they can keep everywhere nice and clean. And then we have the pharmacy with Hugo Strange in there. I'm not quite sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but
he's officially licensed.
So we've got them in there, people picking up their prescriptions, and then I say more of the green capes, which is a real positive response I had when I started using those on the as curtains in there. So that was that's one of my favourite floors, that one for that. And then underneath that one, we've got the kitchen, preparing all the meals for everybody. So there's a lot in there. I like the chopping of the carrots is pretty cool in there, I think, which is quite a nice one in there, and preparing all the meals for all the different rooms and for the doctors and the nurses themselves and everything in there as well. And then next to that, we've also got another MRI machine, I believe, or one of my earlier MRIs. So I think the one I put higher up is a better model than that one, really. So it's probably a room that I might change at some point to put something else in that one. And then at the front we've got another sort of staff room area where they can relax and have a break from work. And got another interview room then next to that for someone actually having an eye test in there, which is another handy one that came from the Lego City set, where they brought out the sticker for the big tile on the big panel on the side there. So that's a really nice addition to it. Made it a bit different to some of the other interview rooms. And another detail I added throughout the rooms as well was the blue line you can see going down the corridors. When I think the bottom floor doesn't have that, and that was because when I was doing it, I just sort of started to think that looked a bit plain. So adding the blue stripe down the corridors just gave it that little bit of colour, really, and added to that quite nicely on there. On that one, and then at the front here, we've just got our the where the emergency. Oh, that one, yeah, that doesn't come off, does it? That one comes off. That one comes off of there, and this one. So you've got your. I knew one of these was connected to the other side. Is that going to come off of there? Let me just take that bit off of there. I can slide that one out then. Had an extra support just to going across to hold up the other bit next to it. So in here, yeah, we've got our emergency access where the ambulance will come in underneath here, and then they'll come in with their emergencies, log them in. And they actually pass the morgue on their way in, which probably is not a good thing. But we've got a morgue there. I think there is actually a skeleton in there. I think he might have been in there a while. I think he was in there. Yeah, there he is. So we've got he's been in there a while. I think they might have forgotten about him. So yeah, from. Maternity ward on the floor, going down to the basement where you get the maternity ward. You get the morgue. So bit of a circle of life thing going on in the hospital, I think, on that one. So yeah. So we've got that all around there. Now I can take you down just a couple of those on the other side there. Ooh.
This is an incredible amount of detail here. You've got so many different rooms covering kind of the full range of hospital work with everything going on here.
Yeah. It was nice, and things like the things like the internet now really help when you start doing these rooms, because Google search made me get images. So, I mean, one of the best compliments I've had is, "Do I work in a hospital?" It's like, well, no, I don't. but thanks to Google Images, you can get on there and get into these things and see all the different rooms and things like that. So here you've got the lab where they're working on some of the cures and mixing the blood and things like that, just to see what. Trying to cure the patients that are in there on that one. And then underneath that one, actually let me take this one off first, because this is the one that's can be a bit delicate, this one. These don't stand up as well by themselves. There we go. So under there, then you've got one thing that I quite like, you don't often see, men's urinals. So you've got the men's toilets there, which we've all seen the normal Lego toilet, so I thought, I'll do something a bit different in there. So I've got men's this side, we had ladies on the other side, so a bit different on that one there. And then you've got, so then we've got the gift shop, where they can buy, you've got soft toys, you've got magazines and drinks, newspapers and flowers on the other side, so they can buy gifts for the people they're visiting in the hospital there. And then we've got 2 more of the wards. So here we've actually got the children's ward. So you can see the good use of the minifig, the new minifig we had with the balloon animals, cheering up the children. And then there's again some custom tiles at the back there for Monopoly and Connect 4. Some Blocks magazine tiles which were picked up at one of the shows again, which is quite cool to get them in there. And of course there's some Blocks magazines in the adult. In the adult room ward as well, along with a game of Scrabble. So and again, some good custom prints.
You gotta have your quality Lego reading material.
Definitely, every hospital should be stocked with Lego magazines. Everyone loves it. So it's good stuff on there. And again, lots more capes from lots more Clock Kings. And then under here we've got the celebrity doctor looking at his celebrity patient now. We've got Dr. Hibbard looking after Homer, and in another one of the interview rooms, and along with a waiting room, again fully stocked waiting room, of which we've got more magazines and things for them to keep them entertained while they're waiting. Who knows how long to see their doctor on those. Let's just take this one off here, and then here we've got the sort of cafeteria area, which again is another very useful modified Lego Friends cafeteria. Good use of another good place to go for parts for these sort of things. I also found the Quickie Mart set to be very useful when doing a lot of mocks. So a lot of the stuff in the fridge, I think, if I can remember rightly, is from the Quickie Mart. So a lot of these mocks, when I'm making them, I find myself shopping in the Quickie Mart. You open it up and then you look for the drinks and what cups and things you can use. So shelves are getting.
Go to the Lego grocery store.
Yeah, so the shelves are getting a bit bare in the Quickie Mart now. So on that one, and then lastly underneath there we've got the reception area, and another waiting room, sort of accident and emergency waiting room, where we've actually got Leonard and Sheldon. So Sheldon's obviously being a hypochondriac again and wondering what's wrong with him. So they're all waiting to go in and see, and you've got your main reception, which hasn't changed that much from the Lego Friends reception area again. Just a bit of a change of colours, but it was a nice entrance really that they had on that one with the sliding doors we have here. So you can slide them across. They can all come in and check in, see where they need to go. A few more custom tiles in there for pictures and magazines and things, and you've also got the which floors to go to for different things on there. And then we actually also have a working lift shaft, but as anyone trying to make a lift shaft in Lego is very, very hard to do. So I've just got individual doors at the front, but we have got a whole Lego, so that actually does slide up. It's quite tight on there, so it does actually. So it will actually stop where I put it, which is quite nice. So, and then in here, don't know if I can get the top off of it actually, but there is even a keypad in the lift, so it's something you don't really see, but you can. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get that off of there. But there is it's not just an empty thing. It's got a lift keypad in there, so they can go up to the right floor they need to go to then. And then I don't know if you'd see it through the door actually. If I open the door in there, it's probably too dark in there. I don't know, but a bit of a keypad in there as well. So
You got every detail included here.
Yeah, I think the nice thing is I've met some people that have been around today have been in hospitals, and I've had nurses that have worked in 4 different departments, and they've named those departments, and I had them all. So I've been quite chuffed with things like that. It's really nice for people to sort of see that. And another person said, has this been to hospitals? Because they say a lot of children would like to see things like this, and you can explain to them they're in their wards, they're going to go up to this machine and actually show them the MRI scanner going over people and over the Lego character to show what's going to happen to them in the hospital, to give them peace of mind as to what's happening. So it was really nice to build. Spent a lot of time on it. It gave me a project to do when I was out of work, because I used to work for Toys R Us, as we all know is gone now. And when I was made redundant, this sort of applied for jobs, but this kept me busy. So it was a really nice project to get stuck into. And yeah, I've been invited to do a lot of these shows over the year, so I've really enjoyed doing it. Yeah.
How did you find the modular building? Because I think it's such a great way to just do all these different rooms here. Does that work pretty well? Do you feel like to just kind of build one room and then build another that fits on top of it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, looking back now, I'd probably have liked to have done it so all the rooms were the same size, because I've kind of done. They all have to go in. They all have to go back exactly where they came from. They're not interchangeable, which when you look back at it, they could be very interchangeable. Someone had a great suggestion for me today that if I built an actual framework for it, and then you could have all the floors actually slide in and out, which would be superb for a show like this, because you instead of having, I don't really show people the ground floor because I've got to take everything off. But when you've got it in there as different things you can actually slide out, which is definitely doable in Lego. That's something that maybe future builds will be something I think about. And so and it was nice. And when you want to build something like this, it was very nice to do it in smaller rooms as well, because once I had the outside done, I could just take a small room away. And once I had that small room, we'll just work on that, get all the detail right, and once I'm happy with it, it goes back and then get the next empty room and work on that. So you don't need a massive amount of space to work on something so big. You can do it in little bits and then put it all together and get this final building. And also building a lot of the Creator Expert sets. I've got most of the modulars, and I think I've learned a lot from building those over the years. That gives you a lot of tips into different ways of using the Lego brick, which people are finding new ways to use a Lego brick every time you come to something like this. You see new ways people have used things, and I think it's fantastic. And sharing ideas online and things is a great way as well.
Yeah. The modular buildings are so well designed. The Lego designers who work on those and the various ones who've worked on those over the years are just amazing in the level of detail and everything they're able to include.
Yeah, definitely, and I think you see that. Like I said earlier about the ambulances, you've got I've got the old one here, which you can sort of that one there was I think we checked yesterday, it was 2012, 2013 maybe, I think, sort of 4 or 5 years ago. And then you look at the new ambulance, there's a huge difference in the style of it now. So you can see how Lego's progressing. And even the vehicles, things like they're doing with the Speed Champions, who would have thought, 6, 7, 8 years ago you could do a Porsche to that sort of scale and make it look like a Porsche, which it definitely does in Lego. So obviously that's one of the new Lego sets that's come out this year. But that's a really nice build on there. And then adding more to it, you've got things like be a bit hard to see now, the burger shop, which I've built to add on there. So we've got our own Big Belly Burger. So I was tempted to put the Flash and Green Arrow sat outside it, seeing as it's from their universe. But that was a nice little addition to sort of the side of the car park, and people have laughed that I've got the burger joint next to a hospital. So get your fast food and get your fast track to the hospital.
This is such an amazing level of detail you've gone to here, so I really appreciate you taking us through each floor and everything. I know it's not easy taking it all apart, but thank you so much for taking us through the whole build and explaining your process here. It's amazing.
No, that's great. Thank you. I enjoy sharing my builds and that, so really enjoy coming to these shows and showing people, especially showing children, what you can do with Lego. It's great.
Bye.